with his athletic ability. That's what Rudy did. Rudy. Put the little guy in. I actually hate Notre Dame, but I do like the movie Rudy. I get a tear at the end. Kind of still. I get a little bit choked up at the end when they pick him up. But I actually grew up. Well, I didn't grow up. I lived in that area for a long time and knew people that grew up with him. One person anyway. And they said he was like, he's a jerk. And I'm like, I guess he'd have to be a jerk if that's all he was obsessed about was playing Notre Dame football, Rudy. I mean, he's almost a jerk in the movie. So it makes sense. If you were trying to be like a buddy of his, he wasn't that kind of guy. He had one goal, and he lived for it, and then he did it. So you got to have guys like that. You have to be a jerk, I guess. Makes sense. 888-729-9494. Jeff, what's going on? Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how you doing, Brian?
What's up, Jeff?
Not much. I'm just looking to talk about the Nick Foles and Mark Sanchez kind of quarterback controversy that's kind of going on in Philadelphia at this point.
Really? Is it going around Philadelphia? It's a quarterback controversy?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not a controversy, but I feel like there's a fair amount of people that want to sit there and say that Mark Sanchez had a better outing in his first preseason game than.
Well, if you go by stats, he did. But I mean, that doesn't mean anything necessarily. But if you go by statistics and by quarterback rating and everything, then Mark Sanchez had a better outing. But he's going against a second team. It's you can't judge it exactly that way. But
no, I hear you. But
I mean, if anybody is thinking that because he did that in that game that he should be starting, that's a little strange.
No, I hear you. I'm with you on that, but how Philadelphia fans are. They're here to jump to the gun on how if someone does better than the other, whether it be a backup or a starter, they're here to jump on a bandwagon, whether it be him, the stats or not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the second string quarterback is the most popular guy on the team because he can do no wrong. I mean, look at Johnny Manziel, had a nice outing Saturday night. And that actually is a legitimate quarterback controversy because Hoyer came out and actually had to say, well, first off, Manziel had to say there's no locker room rift, which means there is one. And then Brian Hoyer said the Browns are my team until I hear otherwise. He had to say, so they do have actually an issue there. Johnny football's got to start there. But here's the thing. Back to the Eagles. And I was critical. Listen, I opened up the show tonight talking about it, that I was disappointed with Nick Foles. Now, a lot of people will call up and go, oh, it's just stupid. Preseason doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything at all. It's stupid. You can lose every game, and it doesn't mean anything. That's true. You can't the score does not matter. But it doesn't mean you can't look at things that happened when in the game, in series. You break it down. You look, Nick Foles throwing off his back foot. His passes weren't zipping. I know he didn't have Cooper. He was throwing to Moma, who's a guy they're just kind of trying to will into being a wide receiver because he's 6'7". But there's things you can be critical of, absolutely, in a preseason game. And I'm not saying it means anything for the full season, unless Nick also looks very similar this Friday night against the Patriots and doesn't look like maybe something's a little off somewhere. I don't know. But the game 3 is truly the dress rehearsal for, the first game of the season. So game 3 is really important. Now, also, to comment on your Sanchez part of that, the positive is that maybe for the second year in a row, we have the best number 2 quarterback in the league. Last year we had Nick Foles, and this year if Sanchez may be the best number 2 in the league, and I guarantee he'll have to.
I love that.
I do too, and he will start. I said at the beginning of the show, I don't want this to happen, but I accurately predicted last year when Nick Foles would start and when Matt Barkley would start in this season by the game. I did. So I'm going to say this right now, that Sanchez will start November 2nd against the Texans.
But it is.
But I'm not doing that on performance. I'm saying that every quarterback gets hurt in the league, their starter does, and the Eagles play the Cardinals the week before that, and the Cardinals have a beast defense, and maybe Nick gets a little chipped up in that game by that point in November, and maybe we'll see Sanchez that game only. And then, of course, Foles will start the week after that again. I'm not talking about a quarterback controversy. I'm not talking about performance. I'm just saying I think that's a game. We're going to see Sanchez start at least one game this year, I think, because of injury, because that's what happens in the NFL. Every starter almost gets hurt in the league for at least one game or two.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that one. I mean, Nick Foles he's been a fan of mine since pretty much, the season he had last year.
Yeah.
He's giving me promise. I mean, the only thing with him is, I mean, I've seen him throw balls consistently that are just not, they don't have the zip as an elite quarterback would have. And the thing about that is that I need promise on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, he pulled it off last year with the 27. I'm not just gonna pull that off and use that as a rebuttal to it. But I mean, he made it work last year. If he can be accurate and he can be smart, you don't have to have an arm like Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely,
you don't have to. But I agree with you that I'd like to see that, but you don't have to have that necessarily to be successful. But before I let you go, Jeff, do you have a unique athletic youth moment that you wanted to share?
Oh, man.
If you don't have one, it's okay. I'm just asking before I let you go.
I'm still a young guy nowadays, so, I mean, it's hard to pick and choose. But,
but if you don't, it's cool if you don't have one. It's all right. I just wanted to ask.
Well, when I was 12 years old playing in Little League Baseball, I wasn't in the tournament season, but I was in the playoffs my 12-year-old season. I threw a no-hitter against a couple of my best buddies. It was a hell of a moment for me. I mean,
throw a no-hitter. Are you making this up or what?
No, I'm dead serious.
Oh,
I had 16 strikeouts against a couple of my buddies that ended up playing tournament season with me, which was the districts to go to the Little League World Series. I guess a couple sections on, but yeah, it was a good moment for me in my Little League career.
All right, I'll put you. I'll tell you what. Hang on, and I'll get you in the running for those tickets for Luke Bryan. I'll take one more before we break here for the. This is the last person through for the chance Luke Bryan tickets. Matt, what's up? What's going on, buddy?
Hey, bro, what's going on tonight?
Pretty good, man. It's all good.